At this time, we would like to introduce our student speaker, Joseph Gallardo. Joseph is a first-generation college student from San Antonio, Texas. He will be graduating with a bachelor's degree in public relations and government with a certificate from the Business Foundations program with the highest distinction. While at UT, Joseph has been involved with the Longhorn Center for Academic Excellence, the School of Undergraduate Studies as a FIG mentor, Omega Delta Phi Fraternity Incorporated, the Latino Pan-Atlantic Council, and the Project 2014. After graduation, Joseph will intern in Washington, D.C. as an Archer Fellow during the fall and move on to intern with the San Antonio Spurs in the spring. He plans to begin law school in the fall of 2015. His commitment and involvement to enhancing the quality of the University of Texas at Austin student experience are worth mentioning. Please join me in giving a round of applause to Joseph Gallardo.
So when I first got here, my friend asked me if I'm ready for this, and very confidently I told him, yes, I got this. But now I'm up here. When I walked in, I saw so many people that I love and care about that I'm very nervous right now, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. First, I want to say thank you. I really appreciate the council choosing me to give this year's speech. I really do think it's awesome that they do this for the Latino community. Latinos are traditionally known for being very family-oriented, and to be able to have our own graduation where our parents, most of which never got the opportunity to do this, but they get to walk the stage with us, it's really, truly amazing. So, can we give a round of applause for them? So when I was preparing for the speech, I did a little bit of research. I'm very analytical. I like numbers. So, some numbers that came to mind: 13%, as they attested to, the percentage of Hispanic population 25 and older with a bachelor's degree or higher, making us the least likely of all ethnicities to have a degree. $100,000. 50% of students here at UT have families of income with at least $100,000. And double, Hispanics have the highest dropout rate of any ethnicity by double the numbers of any other race. So with those numbers in mind, I want to say that we are now part of that 13% that can say that we have a degree. I know many of us do not have families that make $100,000, and that's okay. When you struggle with something and have to overcome so much, you appreciate it that much more. And the dropout rate. Texas has a real issue right now with how we fund our public schools. Many of us did not get to attend the best schools growing up, and therefore lack many of the resources that are available to the richer districts. The bottom 15% of districts are receiving about $43,000 less per classroom in terms of funding for our children's education. Most of the students burdened with this flawed system are either Hispanic or African American. That means we are fighting an uphill battle from the beginning. But we're here now. We overcame the flawed system, and we're beginning a weekend of celebration. Not only are we graduating this week, we are graduating from the best university in Texas and a top 25 school in the nation. We are part of an elite group of individuals who are shaping the future for our community and providing hope and higher standards of living for our families. Many of us in this room are first-generation college students. That's an amazing thing for us to take that initiative and start a trend for our families for years. We're setting a new precedent for the people closest to us that will ripple down generations to come and last way beyond our lifetime. No one in my family was going to college when I started school. Now it seems like everyone is going. My sister is a great example. She enrolled in college right after high school, but dropped all 5 of her classes and said, school just isn't for me. Now, after doing some years in the Army, she says how I've inspired her and is now back in school. She graduated from the same junior college as me with a 4.0 GPA in 1 year's time, and just finished her second semester at UT in the nursing school with a cumulative GPA of 3.93. Not a bad start for someone who believes school just wasn't for them. That's the effect we have on people close to us. What we're doing here is about so much more than ourselves. Now, I'll be honest with y'all, my grandmas were probably going to kill me for this, but when I first got to UT, I didn't take much pride in being Latino. I went to 6 different high schools, and at every one of them, Hispanics were frequently the ones messing up, getting in fights, and just always really in trouble. So when I got here and everywhere I went, I felt like I was the only Hispanic around. Every class I had, I was 1, 2, or 3 Hispanics in a class of about 300. I felt somewhat ashamed and judged because I had this negative connotation of Hispanics, like we were all perceived to be that way. However, as time went on, I met more and more Latino students and began to see things completely different. As I got to know more people in our tight little community on campus, I saw a side of my race that I had never had the chance to see before. I became friends with people that were working at the state capitol, on student government, presidents of prestigious organizations, going to Tier 1 law schools, med school, etc. Over time, my attitude and mindset on being Hispanic did a complete 180. I walk around campus with so much pride in my race now. I no longer hang my head in shame or feel inferior. In fact, my head is always high, and I felt 10 times prouder everywhere I go, knowing that I am one of the small percent of Hispanics that have made it to and now through the best university in Texas. I think my negative perception of Hispanics stemmed from me messing up in the past. As a lot of you already know, I'm a former high school dropout. When I finally decided to go to college, I was so excited to tell my mom. I thought she was going to be so proud and ecstatic, texting all the family and whatnot. To my surprise, and I told her, and her response was verbatim, "Just please don't let it be like high school, Joseph. Why don't you just join the military or something?" Now, before anyone gets the wrong impression of my mom, I was so taken back by this response because that was the first time in my life that my mom didn't 100% believe in me. I remember telling her that I was focused and that I was going to take school serious this time, but she didn't believe me. Anytime prior to that, I could say whatever. I could tell my mom that I was going to be an Olympian, and she'd say, "Let's do it." I would tell her that I was going to the NBA, and she'd say, "I can't wait." But this time, when I told her my plans for school, it was the opposite. It was at that moment that I realized how much I hurt you. You always cared so much about my education, I treated it like a joke. I was never mad at you for how you responded to me that day. In fact, I credit a lot of how things turned out to that very moment. As focused as I knew I was going to be, I made a decision that day that I was going to do this for real. I know I was going to give this school thing every ounce of energy I had to make it up to you and to make you proud. So, in time, I enrolled at Palo Alto College in San Antonio. I spent 2 of the best years of my life there, served as captain of the basketball team, and ultimately graduated with a 3.94 GPA. When I applied and was finally accepted to UT, it was one of the best days of my life. I remember being so intimidated when I first got here. I really did think that everyone here was a genius and I just wanted to fit in. I felt like an imposter. I remember in my first semester at UT, I went home one weekend and was having one of many deep conversations with my sister. I just remember crying and telling her how I was way out of my league here and that I'm just not UT material. Now, fast forward 2 years later, I'm graduating with a 3.9 GPA. I like to think my story is symbolic of the resilience we have as a community. What makes this moment so special to me is that every single person in this room has a story similar to mine. I'm sure not a lot of people have my academic background, but we've all persevered through some really tough challenges. All of us being minorities, I know none of us had it easy. That's why I'm so proud to stand up here right now. I had the honor of giving the speech to some of the brightest, most ambitious, most resilient people, and it's truly an honor for me. To this day, I still believe that admissions had to have made a mistake when accepting me. Like maybe there was a strong gust of wind that blew my application from the denial file to the acceptance one. Some act of God had to have happened. When my sister was applying here, I went back and read my essay to her, trying to show her how it's done, and it was terrible. I literally deleted it off my computer right away. I then looked over my page-and-a-half resume that was filled with things equivalent to help grandma cross the street and frequent giver to homeless people at red lights. I really don't know how I snuck into this amazing place, but I wish I could find the person that took a chance on me and gave them the biggest hug, because the University of Texas has really changed my life. As I mentioned before, I was once reluctant about being a Latino at the University of Texas. It's because of people just like you all that I'm prouder than I've ever been to be Hispanic. I firmly believe that whom you surround yourself with is one of the biggest and most important decisions in life. Being fortunate to have spent the last 2 years of my life surrounded with people that do so much has been one of the biggest factors in all that we have been able to accomplish here. In addition, most of us have our family here. I have my family here. As I said before, the people you surround yourself with is key. I've had the honor of having the greatest group of people on my team for so long, and everything I do is a reflection of their support. Arthur, man, I respect you so much. I love you so much. I look up to you so much. Yeah, you're such a family man. I remember when I lived with you, we ate potatoes every day for 6 months. and to be here now, me here now, you're doing everything so happy you're here. Grandma Flo, Grandma Margie, I love y'all so much. Grandma, I don't know anyone who advocates for school as much as you. Every time you talk, you say the same thing. I just hope God lets me live long enough to see you and Gabrielle graduate. And it means so much to me that you're here right now. Grandma Margie, you give me so much, even when at times you had so little. I just go visit you and you just have all these groceries ready for me. Like you don't know what that does to motivate me. I'm so happy y'all two can be here. Omega Delta Phi, Alpha Epsilon. I would have never in a million years when I got here thought I'd join a fraternity. It's just so out of my element. But my time would not have been the same at UT if it wasn't for y'all. Every fun, good, memorable experience I have comes from being a brother of Omega Delta Phi, from knowing Alpha Epsilon. And I owe so much to the brotherhood, and I just appreciate everything y'all done for me. Y'all really gave me a family away from home, and I needed that. I miss my family so much. But I honestly feel I have a second family here in Austin, and I owe so much to y'all. I really appreciate it. Alpha Epsilon, I rarely call people my friends these days, but y'all are my brothers, like, forever. Especially the ones that are here right now. I knew y'all would be here. Gabrielle, she couldn't be here. She's my best friend, my backbone. And quick story, I never planned on coming here. I applied to Texas State, and I was so excited when I got in. I sent a picture to my friend. I was like, oh my God. And then my sister was like, man, I'm going to do this too. I'm going to go to school and I'm going to go to UT. And I was like, what, you're going to go to UT? Like, my competitiveness kicked in. I was like, no way. Like, I think it's Texas State, but I was like, I can't be at Texas State and you're at UT. Like, that's just not going to fly. So I applied. I didn't think I'd get in, but just long story short, that's symbolic of my sister and my relationship. She pushes me, I push her. She says she wouldn't be here if she would have never seen me doing the things I'm doing. I for damn sure wouldn't be here if she wasn't always on my back trying to make me do better. And I wish so bad she could be here, but I'm sure she'll see this later. And lastly, I know this isn't about my shout-outs, but my mom. I was going to say something about my mom. What I told you the other day, I read in a book, it said, what's best to me, I owe to her. Every good quality I have, no matter what it may be, I owe to you being my mother. My work ethic, respect for women, ambition, all of it is in some way directly related to you. Many people know that I'm the biggest mama's boy there is. That's why it hurts me so much to know all the pain and disappointment I caused you when I was younger. Although I was so much less than an ideal son, you never once turned your back on me, lost your temper with me, made me feel bad about myself, nothing. You showed me unconditional love every second of my life, even when most of the time I didn't deserve it. Everything I do is for you. I'm sorry for taking your love for granted at times. It takes a special kind of person to deal with all that Gabrielle and I put you through and to maintain the level of love you have consistently shown us our entire lives. Gabrielle said it the other day when we went out to eat for Mother's Day, you are what it means to be a woman. Everything you've done from the time we were little to now, taking us from that little place in Woodlake to the house we have now, raising 2 kids and forgoing all your dreams to support ours. Your kids have been your entire adult life. No one can convince me that there's a better mom out there. And had I had any other mom, I would not be here right now. Anyone else would have snapped on me, talked down on me, etc. Your unconditional love has carried me through life, and it's what keeps me going every day. This is all you. I hope that one day I could be even half the person that you are, and I hope you make me proud. So those are my people, and there's no way I'm standing here right now without all of them. We all have our support system, whoever they may be. I feel this weekend is as much a celebration of them as it is ourselves, because none of us would be here without them. Lastly, as I said before, I'm honored to have talked to you all today, and I'm more excited to be graduating with you all. When we walk that stage this weekend, remember it's so much more than receiving a piece of paper. That moment encapsulates all the late nights in the PCL, the all-nighters, the tears, the joy, the disappointments, the surprises. It's all the people that have encouraged you to reach this milestone in your life, and all the people that told you that you couldn't. Remember the struggle it was to reach this point in our lives. It really is a struggle for everyone, but as Latinos, there should be no one prouder to walk across that stage this weekend feeling accomplished. This was handed to none of us, and we deserve to be proud right now. As we move forward with our lives, let's not be complacent. We've overcome so much and are capable of so much more. Every day, wake up with the goal of wanting to be better mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, anything and everything. Just strive to be better each day. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I'm flawed in many ways. But living with this mindset has truly changed my life. So be proud today because we've all overcome so much and have so many things to look forward to. I know each and every one of us has great things coming our way, and this is only the beginning. It was an honor to speak to you all today. Congratulations to all the graduates and their families. Shout out class of 2014.